Hello there, and welcome to the tutorial video on the Cranium Cafe eTools. What we're sitting in right now is Cranium Cafe, specifically in My Cafe. Within this platform, you will be meeting with your scheduled video appointments, and you will also be interacting with students from the walk-in lobby, potentially from the knock-on-door feature as well, if you decide to open up your video cafe and help the student through here. Now, within the Cranium Cafe platform, there's a set of tools on the left-hand side that are interactive for you to use as a counselor. These tools really emulate what it would be like if you were in an in-person meeting on campus in your office. So let's go through some of these tools together. We'll talk about how to utilize them, where to locate them, and later on in this module, you will get to actually practice utilizing these tools yourself. So let's start with the top. So you can see over here on the top left side, you're going to see an image. So this will be your picture that you uploaded when you created your ConXED profile earlier in our course. And when you first enter your cafe, it will ask you, you'll get prompted with a message asking you if you'd like to share your video and audio, your audio only, or to not share your video or your audio. Of course, when we're meeting with students in video appointments, we want to always make sure that we are showing our video, showing ourselves, and our audio so our students can see and hear us. In the event, if there is a moment where you did need to stop sharing your screen or stop sharing your audio for a moment, these two buttons here would allow you to turn your camera on or off, and then same with your audio on or off. To the right of this feature here is the share screen button. Now, this is a really important and helpful tool that you will find yourself using on a regular basis. So when you click the share screen tool, what's great about this is it gives you a chance to be able to show your student another web page on your browser, maybe another screen if you have dual screens with something else you have pulled up. Maybe it could even be from your desktop. It could be a form that you wanted to show your student. So you have a couple different options here. You can share your entire screen with the student. You can share just the window, the application window, or the specific Chrome tab. So if you say here, I'm going to share my application window, you click share, and now on the screen, the student will now see what you are seeing on your end. So if I were to go to another tab on my browser, the student would be following along with me and able to see it. Now, one important piece that you got to look at when you're doing this is when you are cycling and leaving the cafe to go to another website, you want to make sure that you can keep visual on your student to monitor their cues, their nonverbal cues, and to be able to make sure that you can check in for understanding with your student. So one thing that you can do is on their video, and I don't have a student in here right now to click on, but you can right click on their video and click a button that says Picture in Picture. This Picture in Picture tool will allow you to get a visual of your student as you continue to cycle through your computer and different web pages. So the screen sharing tool is really helpful. It especially is helpful when you're educational planning through the student planning page in the portal, pulling up different websites like assist.org. Incredibly helpful. The screen sharing tool is really easy to utilize. Simply click share screen, select your window, and then click stop share when you're done. And the student can share screen as well. If your student decides that they want to show you something and they feel comfortable sharing their screen and showing you an important document or message that they had, they can also share their screen as well. The next feature that you'll see in the Cranium Cafe eTools on the left is the record meeting. Now, this is an option if agreed upon with you and the student, and it's something where it's being requested to record the meeting. You have that option to record the meeting here. Now, the meeting won't automatically record. This is something you'll have to do manually to click to start recording there. The next tool on here that you'll see, this is an incredible feature, and this is called the Document Upload Share button. So if you click on this here, this will now pull up some documents. Now, I've already preloaded some documents on here, but your first time coming through, it's going to look blank here. But this is where you can store frequently used documents that you'll be utilizing in your counseling appointments. So on here, I've went ahead and added some frequently used forms, academic renewal, transfer patterns, nursing information. I'm constantly adjusting this and re-uploading new forms, but these are frequently used forms that I like to use in my student appointments. Now, what's great is if you're meeting in an appointment with a student and you would like to share with them one of these documents, all you have to do is simply click open for it to appear on the screen. So let's go ahead and click on academic renewal. So if I'm working on an academic renewal with a student and I've already pre-uploaded it by clicking this upload button here and uploading that from my computer, from my desktop, once I click open, it utilizes what Cranium Cafe calls the whiteboard feature. And the whiteboard feature is an interactive feature between you and the student where you can in real time write on documents, sign the documents, highlight, put special notes, and download for them to take with them, just as if you were in the office, just as if you had a paper in front of you, writing right on that form, and to share it right with the student when they leave. This emulates that really well. So, the first thing you'll notice is when you click on the document here and you've uploaded it using the whiteboard tool, you clicked open, you're going to see the form here. You'll see my cursor here. It has my name. If there was a student in here and they were moving their mouse, I would also see their name as they have access to this tool. On the top of this, you'll see a toolbar. A lot of different tools. There's a pointer, signature tool, an undo button, eraser, pencil, highlighter. There's a text tool, circle. You can use a rectangle to highlight, arrow tool. So if you had something very important you wanted to point to, you can use the arrow tool to point at it on the form. Checkmark tool as well. So if you felt the need to say, okay, these requirements have been satisfied here, checking off as you move down, you can use the check marks tool. Signature box. This is a really helpful tool as well. So in the case of when you're working on, this is a perfect example, the academic renewal, as you're going through the form, you input the right courses on here, you type the courses in that you're going to be alleviating with this form, and then down here at the bottom, you'll notice that we do need a signature from the student. So if you click this Draw Signature Box tool here, and you go ahead and create this down here at the bottom under Student Signature, you can then assign the signature to the student. Now, I don't have a student in this appointment right now, but the student's name would appear. So I would then be able to click on the student's name, click Assign User, and then the student, using the pointer signature tool, can then click on the box and electronically sign the document in real time. I will see their signature, they can see it. It's a really efficient way of navigating through any required signatures on forms that we have. So you have the signature toolbox as well. You can move the document around. You can adjust the color, especially in documents that require specific, maybe black color ink, or if you wanted to use a different color like red or something like that to highlight an area. You can also cycle through different pages. So this form, you can also upload a form that has 3, 4, 5 pages in length, and you can cycle through the pages here. Also through here, you can zoom in and zoom out. So if I needed to zoom in for myself, this is a way that I can zoom in to view it a little bit more in detail. And same with the student. The student has access to do this as well. And you can see there's a lot more tools. There's a lot more on here that I didn't touch on, but when you get a chance, we recommend to go through and really play around with these. Get really familiar with them. So that way, when you meet with your students, you'll feel like a seasoned pro and you'll be able to use these tools just like you would in the office. One important feature I do want to point out with the toolbox here is this save all pages as PDF or save current page as an image. What's really nice is once you've finished evaluating a form, so let's say this is a form here that, let's say we were editing this together, or let's even say it was a general education form and I wanted to share it with the student, or the student wanted to take it with them. All you have to do is click this button here, save all images or save all pages as a PDF. Once you click download, it's going to export it as a PDF. And now when I click on this, it appears in a really nice PDF format. Now I can save it to my desktop, submit it, email it. The student can do the same thing. So that's a really great tool to utilize there, is the save page as a PDF. So this right here is the document upload whiteboard tool. So again, I'm going to go ahead and click X off of the whiteboard. So again, you click document upload share, and when you click on this, what's great is once you upload your documents by simply clicking upload, you then have that option to click open to then use the whiteboard. So that's an important piece, is when you click open on a file, it opens the whiteboard. Now I can also click share. If I have a document in here that I don't really want to use as a whiteboard, but I just want to share with the student, I want them to take it with them. Maybe it's already pre-filled out, or maybe it's something I just want them to take for informational purposes, you would click the share button. So when I click this, it appeared over here in the chat. And now the student can click on the link, download that form, and save it as well. So document upload and share, incredibly useful. You'll also notice here too, there's two different categories. You'll see My Documents, and then you also see Meeting Documents. The My Documents, these will be stored for all meetings. So when you meet with any student, you'll have quick access to this for any meeting. So these you'd want to upload the most frequently used documents that you regularly use with all students. Now, if you have a specific meeting coming up with a student and you have a very special set of forms, let's say that student's transcript or something specific that you know that student would need that you want to review with them, you can also upload specific documents for a single meeting as well. Now over here on the left, within the document upload share option, you'll see the whiteboard function. You can also create a blank whiteboard as well. So if I click on here, open blank whiteboard, let's give it a title. Just title it test. Click OK. Now I'm opening up a blank whiteboard. So this can be used for notes. You can open this up for a student if you're going through a lot of information and they want to be able to take notes. You can do that, or if you wanted to put notes on a form as well. Think of it as a blank piece of paper, interactive, but just electronic, that you can also write on and type anything on here and make any edits as well. So the whiteboard tool is incredibly useful and something that as a counselor can be used to really enhance those online video appointments. The next feature on here is the lobby. Now, the best way to really access the lobby isn't really through this link. We're going to go more in detail of how to access the lobby within Connex Ed. There's an actual button outside of Cranium Cafe that you'll use, but you will also receive notifications in here as well within the lobby when a student is appearing in your own personal lobby. As long as it's unlocked, got to make sure that you unlock your lobby at the beginning of the day, like we mentioned earlier. But also too, if they appear in the general counseling lobby. Like I mentioned, this isn't the ideal way to assist students when they are in the lobby. There's a better way to do that, and we'll be showing you that shortly. But you do have access to view that here as well. Meeting invite link. This is a very important tool as well. So when you click on meeting invite link, you're going to see right here a couple different things that's going to pop up. The first thing is this, a direct link into your cafe. So this becomes helpful if you run into a situation where your scheduled video appointment is having a difficult time, maybe accessing your meeting, maybe you are in your cafe and a student's asking questions, you have some time and you'd like to meet with them in a video chat, you can send these students, or even send it to a counselor, somebody within our Chafee community, your direct meeting link. When you send them this link, when they click it, they will then be directed into your cafe. So this is something really useful that you can utilize, is your direct meeting link. So you can either copy it here, paste it in an email, or you can also send the invite here if you know the students or the faculty's address that you would like to meet with. So the meeting invite link is really helpful. There's also a keyboard shortcut in here too for just some general information on how to quickly move through screen sharing, enter and upload, edit documents. So if you'd like to review that, it's a helpful tool there. Another portion here that I'd like to go over with you is the chat. Briefly talked about it earlier, but the chat tool is really helpful, especially In the event of sharing any forms, like we went over earlier, you can share a document and it appears in the chat. But also, too, this is a great way to message someone if you wanted to put maybe an important notice. Let's say you were chatting with a student and you wanted to put a couple of special, messages here, like it takes 60 units, transferable units to transfer. It's just, again, just place to put notes down that includes your major and your general education. There's ways that you can utilize this chat. Also, too, I find myself utilizing the chat tool if the student is experiencing some technical difficulties. So I sometimes might reach out to the student and say, hello, can you see me? Can you hear me? And I might be able to provide some direction through the chat on how to navigate through that, especially using the audio and webcam settings up here at the top. So the chat tool is a great way to communicate with your student, and they can chat in here as well. So it's a running chat you'll be able to see and use throughout the duration of your appointment. Now down here at the bottom of the screen, you'll notice that there is a View Captions button. Let's go and click on this here. So this right here is a caption editor, and what this does is this, when turned on, will pull up your captions for your meeting. So this is especially helpful for a student who would like to have closed captioning to be able to see what you're saying, and it will capture the words you're saying when you do turn it on. There is a button up here for closed captions, and especially when the meeting's going, you can turn those on and off through up here at the closed captions button or down here. So as you can see, through Cranium Cafe, there's plenty of ways for you to be able to really engage with your students. It's not just a video appointment where you're looking at screens. Cranium Cafe offers you the opportunity to share your screen, to really show the student and engage with them as you're creating an educational plan, showing them websites like assist.org and navigating through the transfer process. You get to use tools like the document upload, the Whiteboard Tool, where you can really interact with documents. So that way they can really see and begin to interact with you and be able to see their requirements right in front of them, and they can interact and make notes and save the documents. So you really get to interact with the students through the whiteboard, the document sharing. Also, too, you have the meeting invite link to get direct access to your appointment at any time. You have the chat tool, you have the view captions as well. So as you can see, the Cranium Cafe offers a lot of great features within here. And like I said, within the next page in this module, you are going to get a chance to really practice and go through some of these and become more familiar with these tools. So that way, when you do meet with a student, you feel comfortable and ready. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great rest of your time in this course.